Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. This is one of those nights I usually will go out, maybe to a club, and sing a song. And I do that because it gives me a chance to break the monotony and do something that I like, entertaining. But tonight, I didn't feel like I was just the beaming from me a spirit of entertainment. Truth of the matter is, I had a lot of things on my mind, stressful things. I didn't want to go, but I tell myself maybe if I just go on anyway, and maybe being in the environment would change my mood. But it won't change my mood, ladies and gentlemen. As I was driving over there, I was thinking about why we have to go through all this crazy stuff. When I say we, I'm talking about we the people. Crazy stuff, I'm talking about the pain and suffering that we have to go through. I'm talking about like going to the gas pump to get some gas, and now the gas prices they're so high. If you were poor like me, you hopefully get enough gas to go back home. Somebody say then maybe you should have stayed, but you can't just sit there like, what the people say, we got to move. But anyway, that's just part of it. If you go in the store to buy something, the prices have sky jumped. You go to the dollar store, it jumped 25%. No more dollar stuff, $1.25. Now you got all that going against you, and most of the people got to go to the dollar store because the prices at the other grocery stores and stuff like this, you got to really have some cash coming in to be able to deal with those prices. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And if you're riding around in your car might be making all kinds of noises, might just be smoking, might need some kind of work, or you might just need a new car. But here you go, caught up in this stuff like that. And I'm thinking about that because the things that I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of us have to go through that. But I don't want to spend my time telling you about that. I want to tell you about what I go through. And what do I go through? I go through the same things that everybody else go through. This is why when I talk to you about God, I don't spend too much time talking about a book, about what somebody else is saying about God. Because if I got a relationship with God myself, I can talk about God for myself to those who will listen. Truth of the matter is, nobody want to listen to God. It's easy for people to sit up and grab a book and say, I read this, and then all of a sudden you're talking about it, and you're trying to remember, is that the same thing that I heard? Then if you say, oh, okay, I got that. But it doesn't mean a thing as far as learning. It doesn't mean a thing as far as a message. It's just maybe you just remember something. And as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all of these changes that I'm going through, I think about all of the 40 years that I spent my time talking about making changes, changing the society so the people that have to suffer won't have to suffer no longer. Telling them that if they want some changes, they're going to have to engage themselves in the process or it will never happen. And at the same time, speaking not only for them, but speaking for myself, because I'm going through basically the same pain. Maybe not all of them are the same, but going through pain nonetheless. And I want this stuff to stop. I'm thinking and hoping that they would want this stuff to stop. But I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, this stuff is not going to stop. Because you got to first understand the truth that you have not heard. The truth of the matter is that every nation on the face of the earth have turned their back on God. Every nation, let me say it one more time. Every nation on the face of earth have turned their back on God. When I say turn their back on God, I'm talking about turn their back on the way of life. Turn their back on the way of love. Turn their back on the way of righteousness that gives you the peace and kind of things that everybody have naturally want. That's what I'm talking about, turn the back on God. Every nation. So when you don't think that your nation is a divine nation, your nation is a godly nation, your nation is the most religious nation on the face of the earth, it might be. We ain't doing God no good, are you? It's just a bunch of stuff that you've been controlled and manipulated by. Somebody need to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thinking about, I married to me one of the sweetest, nicest, most gentle women I ever met in my life. This girl was an angel. I care so much about this girl, I could just drink a spit. But we've been together for 40 years that I've been out here trying to get us to collectively come together. And this life that I'm talking about, we all want to enjoy it, but we can't enjoy it. But there are those of us who keep trying. She keeps giving of herself. How you think the bills have been paid living in this society the way it is? She's been doing it. Don't you think she's tired of this stuff? She's tired of it. She's probably mad as she can possibly be with me, because I have not been there to help her doing things the way that is normal. And the reason that I haven't been there is because normal is anti-God. Somebody say, well, if you don't jump in the bandwagon and join the anti-God, you might not live, brother. Well, if that's the way it's got to be, that's the way it's got to be. But I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it does not have to be that way. You're being manipulated. You're being controlled. We are being manipulated. We are being controlled. And I want you to know I'm tired of it. I want it to stop, but I can't make this thing stop. It will take we the people to make a change in ourselves, our way of thinking, what we want, what's important to us. And then we will start, if it's real, walking according to those dictates. And those people that will represent us will be doing the same thing because it will be us, representing us. Right now, all of the stuff that God has given to the human race to make sure that none of us would ever be hungry. God gave that to the world to make sure that none of us will ever be hungry. Look across the globe and see how many people are hungry. Why do you think they're hungry? They're hungry because they've been robbed. Robbed by what? Those who are greedy. God did it. God made sure that we would not only have food, we would have housing to make sure we never be left out there. Food, clothing, and housing. Made sure that the resources would be there. We got the need. We engage ourselves in the process. The reservoir of goods and services will never run meat. That's the way the master planned it, but we are living in systems that say to hell with God. They want to do it their way. You want to do it like a dictator. You want to do it like a socialist. You want to do it like a communist. You want to do it like a this and like a that, and none of it serves God. Somebody need to tell you, you blew it. You blew it. And it's time for this crap to stop. It's time for it to stop. Let me tell you something. I've hollered and screamed for the people that's standing on the corners. I've walked around this country and seen people everywhere begging. Seen them in church begging. Ask God this, ask God that. Ain't nothing changing. We getting worse and worse and worse. And when you see somebody like Donald Trump come on this scene and start spreading some lies, and half of this nation almost seems like they're just loving it. And even those who say, I know it's a lie, they are scared. They just want to go in and go with it anyway, trying to see if they can benefit from it. Why? Because they're greedy. And why are they greedy? Because they don't know God. And how are they going to know God when people just go along with what's going on to get along? Who's going to stand up and say, damn it, it's wrong for you to take the resources that people got to suffer for? It's wrong, damn it, that people can't eat. It's wrong. I know you. I know what you did in the Depression. Rather than do the right thing, you stood up, had all of the resources, had all the people that are ready, hungry, need, and ready to go to work. But you said the most stupid stuff. And you sat out on the street doing nothing because you don't know the truth. You don't know love. You don't know God. And somebody got to sit up and tell you. I know you might not even post this. They might say, we're checking this out. Well, I don't care. I'm telling you what I came here to tell you. And I'm not talking some stuff I don't know. Look at here. I got a neighbor across the street. I love my neighbor as much as I can love a person that I don't ever talk to. I watch him. He's doing stuff. I was talking to him the other day. I might have mentioned it to you. And I was asking him about some of the things. He was telling me about the city want to have this meeting. And we want to talk about paving the highway, the streets. That's a good thing. You know how it is when your streets got potholes and you want to pave them. Hey, that's something, let me see. That's something good to do. Pave the streets. But I said, yeah. Now you're talking about taxes. I know I got no money. So how can I participate in that? If I can't participate, it make me look like you looking at me like I'm some leech. But you came up with this plan. I got a plan, my friends. Nobody got to pay no kind of taxes. No taxes. And it's been done by people who love doing the work. And everybody benefit from it because everybody got a role that some way, somehow they play a part in it. But you can't see that if you're greedy. You can't see that because you're willing to lie and cheat and steal and kill and be a hater and a racist and a bigot rather than stand up. You think God don't, I know everybody think, well, I'm not as bad as some. I'm a little better than that. Or there are those who think I'm better than that. There are those who walk around here talking about when they die, they're going to heaven to be with the rest of their folks. Didn't you believe that? How in the dead blast the stinking can you think you going to heaven when you don't even know what heaven is about? And you got people that you done put in heaven. You see what kind of crap going through your mind, and you sitting right here talking about going to heaven, and you won't create heaven where you at? You let somebody tell you, well, the things of the world you can't take with you. You're not supposed to take it with them. You're supposed to use it right here. That's what it's for, right here. If you get to heaven, heaven got something to take care of heaven. Don't let nobody be lying this stuff to you, walking around here working 2 and 3 jobs trying to survive when these people fucking over you. Oh, my God. Woo. I better stop. I'm going to stop for now, okay? I'll talk to you about it later.